Oh, come and magnify the Lord with me. Let us rejoice and praise his holy name together. Y'all, the show is over. Make a Move, season 1. This is the reunion. God, I thank you. Oh, I thank you, Lord. I thank you so much. We gonna get into this review. I'm already showing out, y'all. Let me tell you what I had today. I had some coffee, I had some tea, and I had 2 drinks. So there's no telling how all of this may go. But that was a couple of hours ago, so I should be good. But we're gonna see. So let me just say, this reunion, they could have kept it. This show, they could have kept it. I don't know. The show started out enjoyable at first. I think that while it does bear similarity to Ready to Love, Ready to Love is a show that we've been invested in for many seasons. Ready to Love also has interactions in the group setting where the men and the women are together. It's not a lot of one-on-ones. And I think that makes for a more entertaining show. Like, yes, you're watching people go on dates, but you're also watching a lot of group interaction. And just something about Ready to Love is a little bit more entertaining to watch, although it's still foolishness as well, okay? Because y'all know Ready to Love had me, they had my pressure high as well. Have me yelling and everything. But for this show, it just wasn't, I don't think it's anything that I need to see on my television screen. And I would not be mad if this was a show that they did not do again. Like, I would like to see a Ready to Love reboot, like where they bring the rejects, hate to call them that, where they bring all the rejects together from different seasons, more so than I would like to see just like a select few people from the cast. Does that make sense? But then again, I don't know if that would work either, if they brought a whole bunch of people together. I don't really know, but I think I have to get in my mind that most dating shows, most reality dating shows are probably not going to be all that serious. And I think I need to get that in my spirit. I think I need to understand that. But for whatever reason, you guys, this reunion, I just rolled my eyes the entire time. OMG. Woo! I'm going to tell y'all right now. I just want to get this done. I just want to get it done. It's a beautiful Saturday. The sun is still out, and I would like to be able to enjoy it. So let's just go ahead and get this review done, because I'm talking a lot. All right, we can start with Ashley. Ashley got on my nerves this reunion. As much as I think that she's bubbly and fun and probably a good friend, Ashley is emotionally immature. You can tell it in the way that she reacts to stuff, as well as her communication style. They do have a moment where they have Kirsten on stage. There's a lot of stuff, you guys, that I'm not going to spend too much time on, because I even fast forwarded through some of this reunion, especially all of those clips, because it was just dragging out at that, the reunion dragged, in my opinion. So Kirsten got up there. They tried to speak to Kirsten about the interaction that they had, about how he handled Ashley, about their dealings together. Kirsten was relieved that it didn't work out, and Kirsten didn't have nothing to say. He wanted to leave. He said the only reason he came was because he was contractually obligated to, and they tell him he can go ahead and go, so he get his stuff. He go out there. He tell the producers, I already told you I wasn't going to do that. So cool, fine. I didn't really care that Kirsten left. He didn't want to be there anyway. He didn't like Ashley. They had their very tense interaction where Ashley was in his face. So, yeah, that was fine with me. I was okay with old Blue heading on out. Her and Donald are not dealing with each other on that level anymore. They're not together. It's just kind of one of those things that did not work out. But they still seem to be at least friends with each other, because they were interacting with each other. And they did carry some type of little, something that other people noticed on the stage. And I noticed it as well. Lakeisha, Donald's friend, said that if this was the Ashley she would have got before, she would have been on board. Ashley, again, like I said, she's immature. She doesn't know how to react to things. Instead of saying, girl, I know we got off on the wrong foot, here she comes with, well, this the Ashley you could have got. This the Ashley you was getting, but you came in there with the rah-rah. You was being defensive. You came in there with the aggressiveness yourself. I was giving back what you was giving back. So they almost get into it again, but it doesn't go too far. But Donald says that the reason he didn't speak up is because he didn't want to make it seem like they were ganging up on her because Lakeisha was already saying something. I call BS on Donald. I think Donald didn't speak up because, as he revealed on stage, he had already been having problems with Ashley and her communication due to her tone. Ashley, on this reunion, as well as during the process, seems like, according to Donald, was kind of giving, I'm the star, I'm the one. You coming after me. You on this show because of me. And so Donald didn't always like her tone and her energy. When the host was like, well, what's wrong with that? Everything is wrong with that. Because, all right, yes, I may be here to date you, but don't talk to me like that, was basically Donald's thing. And I think I would have to agree with Donald on that. You ain't got to talk to me crazy now. Ashley's energy, this reunion, very much reminded me of her energy on the very first Ready to Love reunion. It was given, I'm the star of the show. I'm the one that's done been through stuff. I'm the one that's done experienced. She was giving First Lady on the first reunion. She was giving the preacher's wife because her man was in the hospital. And anytime a disagreement or anything broke out, Ashley was crying and saying how she had been through so much. Like, it was just giving, all of y'all should understand that I'm the one. I'm the one that's been through all of this, and my man is in the hospital. If you watched that Ready to Love reunion, the first one, then you know exactly what energy I'm talking about. You can scroll back and watch my review of that reunion, actually. But it was given some of that, and it kind of reminded me that maybe, I didn't see it at the time, but maybe this is who she has always been just back then, because she was in a state of almost grief because they thought that Alex wasn't going to make it. Maybe because she was in that state, I didn't recognize it then, but I definitely recognized it on the reunion stage on this particular time. Now, Donald, like I said, I call BS. I think he had been having problems with Ashley, and I think he didn't say nothing because he felt vindicated and he felt like somebody was taking up for him and saying all of the things that he wished he could say. I think that he had already spoke to Lakeisha about the issues he had been having with Ashley, and so Lakeisha came rolled ready. When she came to the meeting with Ashley, she already had stuff prepared to say. I also think Lakeisha likes Donald as a little bit more than a brother. Maybe she got a man already or something and she can't reveal those feelings. But if I was her man, I would definitely be saying, well, why you all up on here with this, this loafer wearing Negro on the reunion stage worried about him and his woman? You got a man. What you worried about him for? Let him do what he gonna do. But yeah, that Ashley's, her energy was just, Then after all of this, they bring Ashley on stage. Stormy on stage. And Zadia gave Ashley some good advice in this situation. When you have an issue with something that's going on, go ahead and pull that person to the side in the moment. And when you speak to them, speak like you're speaking to me now. And I wish Zadia would have said, speak to them with some respect. Don't get loud. She is an animated person, so I'm sure it's hard for her not to be animated in her speech. But I don't know. Her communication style. See, it's hard for me to say because I think it's a part of her personality. And I would never want to tell somebody to tone down their personality. She just doesn't speak to people well when she gets upset. She gets defensive. She closes herself off. She gets defensive in her body language. It's something about it that's not right. And so Stormy says that she wasn't trying to flirt. She came dressed like how she would normally dress for a dinner date. She didn't even notice that Ashley was upset, which is weird. Now, you should have at least noticed that. She gets up and walks out because she ain't trying to look like no trollop that was trying to get with her man. Ashley goes after her and says, you know what? I was tripping. You didn't know I was upset, just like you in this position right now where you're upset. Like I was in this position before too. You just didn't know it. I don't know if she meant for that to be like an apology, but it wasn't one. But they're going to try to get past it. I do feel like Stormy was flirting a little bit. I still believe that. And I feel like she should have noticed that something was wrong with Ashley. I thought it was very obvious. I thought her getting up and crying was a cop-out. I ain't gonna lie. I did. But because of Ashley's energy, it ain't a surprise to me that people would cop out. But I can't blame Ashley for that. I do think Stormy was doing a lot. Sorry, not sorry. People may agree, and we can disagree. So anyway, that's all I got to say about Ashley. All right, next let's go to Sharice. So happy for Sharice. I'm happy for Sharice. Even with all that BS on the part one of the reunion, that set her up for part two, where we learn that her and Maurice are still in dealings with each other. They are having a good time together. They went to the Essence Festival. Girl, why you ain't hit me? Why you ain't tell me you was going to Essence, girl? I was out there. Yes, you should let me know. They went to the Essence Festival together, front row seats. They were dancing. And she said that she has been back and forth. He hasn't been to Miami yet. But who knows? Maybe she'll be making a move to Louisiana. But either way, she's been enjoying her time. And let me tell you, I'm happy for Sharice, because Sharice said, I want that bag, and she got it. She said he might be mute. He may have more children than I'm used to dealing with, and he might be divorced. But guess what? He got that bag. He's attractive. And I'm going to make this mute mouth work for me. So that's what Sharice did. And I'm not mad at it. Maurice looked like he was having a good time. She looked like she was having a good time. Their body language was weird on stage. That part was concerning. But they seemed to have worked something out. And shoot, good for her. As much as people talk junk about Sharice and saying she was she try to do too much and she want too much. Listen, Sharice will settle on what she gonna settle on, but she not settling on that bag. You can be a mute. You cannot talk. You cannot have many words to say, and you could just look at me and grin. But you better be coming with that money. How can I can't even be mad. I have nothing to be mad about. And Maurice knows it. Because when the host was like, y'all went to Essence, I'm sure y'all was VIP. And he was like, absolutely. And Ashley said, look, if you can handle that firecracker, because it's a lot to deal with that firecracker. Maurice said it is. So he don't say much, but he says just enough. They did say at the end they had some stuff they needed to work on. But that part was funny to me. So he know what it is, y'all. Who could be mad at it? Good for you, Sharice. Okay, Vernisha. So we getting a little bit more on the story. So we end Sharice's segment with Myelle on the stage, and realizing that because Sharice decided not to pick Myelle, it opened her up for the love she has now. Myelle said he know his time is coming. Sharice said, I sure hope so. You the oldest of all your siblings, so you need to be trying to settle down. That part was kind of funny. But then we get into a conversation, and that's why Myelle was there, y'all. Because Sharice has other prospects that she let go of that were better to put on that stage than Myelle. So that let me know the producers is full of it. Because her and Myelle only went on one date. I'm pretty sure there was another guy. What about like Nick or somebody else that she could have had up there other than Myelle? So Vernisha and Myelle get into a little back and forth again, where they try to figure out what happened. We don't really get to hear much from Myelle. Vernisha, who was very vocal this reunion, the most vocal she's been on the entire season of the show, explains the situation again. Look, this is what it is. I don't think Vernisha should have took Myelle's number to begin with. I think Myelle came on here thinking this was Ready to Love, where he could just spread himself out amongst any woman he wanted to date. That's how Ready to Love works. This is make a move. You are going to be selected by the woman who wants to date you. And Vernisha, since Vernisha took his number, heck, you might as well call that a selection. So I guess it's all good. It didn't even pan out the way it was supposed to. Vernisha felt like he was trying to be a player. Vernisha, I'm wondering if you was trying to be a player along with him. Was it fair game or was it fair game? I don't know. But, Myelle is slick. I do think he kind of thought this was going to be like Ready to Love, where you could date two women at one time. But that's not really what it was, bruh. I don't even know why he was there. Let's move on to Vernisha, Tabari, and Jabari. All right, now the girls was getting drug about Jabari. The girls was getting drug, and I understand why they were. But I do got some things I need to say here. Now, Jabari was saying that he believes in gender roles. And he likes his woman to be home when he home. He don't want no woman that's going to be out And Vernisha said that she does have that kind of work where she might be out to 1 or 2 in the morning. What is it that Vernisha does again? And she ain't always gonna be home, but she knows how to turn stuff off though when she gets home. But all in all, they probably weren't gonna be compatible because she's not gonna be home every time he home, right? And so Tamika was just like, well, when you meet the one, sometimes you compromise on those things. So Jabari, how do you know that you wouldn't have been able? He was like, no, I'm not doing that. And she was just like, yeah, but for the right one, you will bend. He was like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't believe you should just bend to what no woman won't. Now, the confusion in this to me was the choice of words, but I'm gonna go with the words that Tamika used. I agree with Jabari. You don't just bend to no woman's will. And even though he has a podcast microphone, I believe, even though he probably has a microphone in his closet and he makes that specific to women, I would make that specific to anybody. You don't just bend to somebody's will. In relationships, there is compromise. There's two people coming to the table and deciding what does and doesn't work for the benefit of the relationship. It's not always just for the benefit of one person. So I do agree with him. You don't just bend to not just specifically no woman's will, but to anybody's will. But in Jabari's case, he believes that he is a leader and he not just gonna keep bending because a woman will walk all over you. But baby, a man will walk all over you too. But let's just keep it specific to what Jabari was talking about. Okay. So I don't agree with Tamika with that whole bend. But with the right person, yes, you do have compromises. But if two people are not compatible, there's no need to compromise. There's no need to bend. We are just not compatible. And even more than compatibility, are we aligned? Her and Jabari got along very well. Her and Jabari had a good time, but are they aligned in values and are they going to the same place? No, I do not think so. I don't think their values align, and that's okay. It's just not going to work. Sorry, y'all, my camera cut off, but no, they just aren't. They aren't aligned in values, okay? They just aren't. They may even be compatible in personality, but they are not aligned in values, and that is perfectly fine. Now, to get back to what I wanted to say was, Jabari and this whole I believe in gender roles and I'm traditional. I saw a lot of the people, dragging the girls, okay, dragging the hosts, dragging Vernisha, because they're all a bunch of modern women. But lest we forget that Jabari wanted Vernisha to bring her modern independent money into the relationship because, as he said, I just got a regular job. So he fine with doing his part, but I just got a regular job, so I can't be doing all of this and this and that. And that's why I was confused when he was talking about tradition and gender roles, because I'm just like, well, where does it stop at money? Because it seems like a lot of these conversations stop when we start talking about money. And so my only issue is you can be traditional, you can believe in gender roles, but if you're going to do it, go all the way, commit to it. Don't be half traditional, half modern, and then ridicule me for being modern and being non-traditional. You are non-traditional as well. You're just compartmentalizing it. Instead, say, I just don't want to be emasculated at home. If we can agree on that, then hey, I'm good. And I wish people were just a little bit more clear, because if you truly want to walk in tradition, that comes with a lot of responsibility, a lot of weight, a lot of leadership skills you're going to have to possess. And if anything goes wrong on the ship, you're going to be blamed. You're going to be blamed and they're going to hold you accountable because you're the leader. If you have a problem with leadership and being accountable for the entire team, even though you may not have been the one to do it, then tradition and being the leader of the home is not your skill set. Just say you don't want to be emasculated, and then we can move on. Tabari and Vernisha. I wanted Vernisha I wanted to hear what Tabari had to say. Tabari did get a little bit off when he was just like, it's more than just texting. It's more than just me not texting you. It's also just the communication in general. And Vernisha is going on and on about how she's not used to chasing a man and she's not used to being the one that's communicating first is not chasing. I don't know if I agree with, if that's what she was saying, I don't agree with that. However, if all y'all were doing was a lot of heavy texting, that already was a recipe for disaster, because y'all too grown to just be texting each other all the time. It does have to be some phone conversation in there. But Tabari, if you go in days and days and days without hitting somebody up, I don't even know how she was still choosing him. I wouldn't have chose him. And Tabari, let's not act like not communicating for days is okay. But I think in his mind was like, well, shoot, she ain't talking to me, so I ain't talking to her. And in Vernisha's mind, it was, well, he ain't talked to me first, so I'm not reaching out. It's a lot of game playing that goes into dating, and I see why people just give up entirely, because I don't even know how to call that one. Honestly, because it's so childish. I don't even know how to call it on that end. But what I will say is, I don't think Vernisha should have continued to choose him if she felt like that was a big problem for her, because in choosing him, he's thinking, okay, she still wants me, even though we have this issue. And I agree with Tabari. Her body language was not giving openness. Remember, I told you that their interactions were still weird to me, and that was part of the reason why. So I don't know. What am I supposed to say, you guys? It's just not going to work. Vernisha, it's something tricky about Vernisha. It's something tricky about her going on. Everybody keeps saying she wants to be chased. That's just part of it, though. That's part of it. It's something else. It's something else. And I can't put my finger on it. I cannot fully put my finger on it. But Tabari that wasn't a good fit for her. But it's something. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I think it feels like she's used to getting a lot of attention from men. But when it comes to maintenance, I don't think Vernisha knows how to maintain attention, attraction, an actual relationship. I think she might be good at flirting and initial interactions, but maintenance isn't going well for her. Is that it? Ooh, child, I don't know. I'm gonna read y'all comments. And last but not least, y'all, Zia. Ooh, child. Woo. Y'all, this whole time I thought Zia was aware that this was game being run, but I think Zia genuinely didn't know what was going on, y'all. I said, child. Okay, so Zia and Cam are on stage, and I'm just gonna cut straight to it. When they got to the part about whether or not they had been interacting with each other, had they met up with each other, the answer was no, because Cam already said he didn't have time, he couldn't do it, he wasn't available, and all of this and that. And Cam even says, I guess he was tired of like people bringing the heat towards him. And this is the plainest that Cam has been in a long time. Cam was like, I mean, I'm risking obligations that I got to do right now just being here. I was supposed to be interviewing people right now. I was supposed to be doing this and do that. Like, when you left, it was a relief. And I was just like, oh. And everybody on the stage was, mouth open as well. And Zia was like, hold on a minute. When I left, it was a relief. And he was like, yeah, because I had stuff to do. And I was like all tied up with you. And Zia made the comment when they were talking amongst the friends that Cam has, what did he say? Low expectations but high delivery, or something along those lines. And I kind of got what she was saying when it comes to their dates. Like, Cam tells her one thing, but in actions, he's still very kind. He's still very expressive. He's still and that's very nice guy behavior. I've experienced this before. A guy can like you a little bit, but not want to be with you, and still spend time with you, still be having sex with you, still be taking you out on very nice dates, still be having fun with you, kicking it with you. He might even still call you every day, but he just don't want to be with you. He enjoys your company, but he don't want to be with you like that. And so when Cam kept showing up for Zia, it was almost like, I'm doing you a favor. I'm doing you a favor. I ain't finna embarrass you like that. But his words was saying something to Zia where he was saying, like, I'm really not interested. And so maybe this is why Zia was getting confused, because in action, he was showing like, I still like her. But in words, he was telling you he didn't want to do it no more. And baby, in this instance, you should have took him at his word. But Cam was doing it in reverse. You know how most times a guy will tell you how much he love you and how much he like you, but his actions don't line up? In this scenario, he was giving action, but he was telling in words, I don't want you. Woohoo! This is a different type of phenomenon. Then he brings her this picture and was like, let's just count it, let's just count it as what it was. And he gives her this hug, and it was just, I mean, it was hard to watch. It really was. And Zadia, she kept her composure and she didn't break down or anything. So they tell, she's just like, well, let me not waste your time any further. Like, you can go ahead and go. And so Cam gets up and he's smiling. He's okay with this. And I hate that it went that way. I really do. Vernisha decides she want to be vocal again and be like, she saw what she wanted to see, but these y'all come in here and y'all play with our hearts. Listen, Vernisha, normally I would agree with you, girl, because yes, that does happen. People will come in and they will play with your hearts and you will see what you want to see and all of this different stuff. I agree with that. In this situation, I really, really wish Zadia would have entertained someone else. I do. Because he was telling her, but it seemed like, according to the conversation she was having with him, when she would give him an out, he wouldn't necessarily take it. And I think that's where her confusion was coming in. And, yeah, I mean, that was a blunder on her part. I do, but I get why she made it, though. I do get why she made it. I really do, because I told you some of them dates I would have been confused too. I would have. But he was given emotionally unavailable. I think this is a cycle that Zadia has gone through, dealing with emotionally unavailable men. She's talked about it before. So eventually, you do have to learn the lesson, and like old girl said, her friend said, we can only deal with men that are showing in action that they want us. Now but again, y'all, he was giving some action. And I know people have commented that Zadia should not have slept with him on the first date. Of course. I mean, it never benefits anybody to sleep with a guy on the first date. Now, I do know of some marriages that happen from first night sex, but I know it's not the common thing that happens, right? But yeah, you guys, oh gosh, that was not the ending that I was expecting. And then you guys know in the end, they have the conversation where they do, talk about what they want in the future. But child, that whole Zadia and Cam situation, and then that picture he bought her, I was just like, ooh, Cam, I don't know. Zadia, I definitely wish she would have eliminated him earlier. And, damn, that's all I can say. Y'all can like, comment, and subscribe. It don't even matter. And I hope not to see you for the next one, because I don't want to review this show again. Bye, y'all.